Welcome to the Iq Pbx sales training. I'm Judith Addison. I'm the business manager for Nimans for the Iq Pbx product, and today we're going to be having a look at this new PBX that Nimans have introduced to the portfolio. So just to give you an overview of what we're going to look at, I shall introduce the Nimans team, the team that are looking after the Iq. We will be looking at the system and the boxes and the various cards that go in it, so the parts. Then we're going to look at the system in more detail, so the Iq Pbx 250, 600 and 2000. We'll have a look at the key features. There are some variations on the three boxes, but mainly they are the same, but we'll go through and highlight the changes and the differences. We'll have a look at the pricing and I'll talk to you about the configurator tool that's available through Nimans. I shall go through the dates of the training, the technical training courses that we're running, and a little bit of highlight of how they work, and then we'll briefly look at the sales message at the end of the presentation. So first of all, we're going to look at what Iq Pbx is. So Iq Pbx is a new product into the UK. It's an asterisk based product. It's on premise, so it actually sits in your customer's office. It's an open source IP system that supports any IP endpoint and connects to SIP and Skype out of the box, but it also will connect to analog trunks, ISDN2 and GSM. So all the trunks, all the connectivity is covered. The Iq Pbx is manufactured in China and imported by a company based in the north of England. Nimans has been awarded the sole distributorship in the UK, so we are the only place that you can actually buy this product. It's been deployed in numerous countries around the world already, mostly in the Far East, so we're confident that it's been tried and tested. We're not early adopters, so we're on version 4, so somebody else, they and others have experienced versions 1, 2 and 3, and all the minor problems have been ironed out. Okay. So the Iq Pbx team, we're all based in Manchester in Nimans. As I say, I'm Judith Addison. I'm the business manager and sales trainer. Jed Morgan heads up the pre-sale support team, and he's also our technical trainer. And then we have the backing of the Nimans technical support team, as with all our other PBX products, Panasonic, Siemens, etc. So when you have bought one of the Iq from Nimans, the same process applies to any other purchase of a PBX if you need post-sale support. So, but the main people that you need to remember are myself and Jed if you need any either pre or post-sale support. So we're just going to have a look at the product overview first of all. So the Iq Pbx comes in 3 flavours. Iq Pbx 250, which as you can see is wall or desk mount. It's very similar to the size of a router. Iq Pbx 600, which is a 19-inch rack mount system, and the Iq Pbx 2000, also a 19-inch rack mount box. All 3 of them come with the power supply in the box. There's no separate codes for or costs for the power supply unit, the PSU. And the 600 and the 2000 also come with the rack mounting brackets in the box. Again, no separate product code or cost for those. So you won't forget to put them on your sales order. Also, in the portfolio of the Iq Pbx are the 5 system cards. Now there's 3 analog cards. There's a 2-port analog line card, so you can put one of those cards in and connect 2 analog trunks. There's a 2-port analog extension card, so you can connect to that any analog extension, SLT, pot, 2-wire extension, for example a plain ordinary telephone, a fax machine, etc. And then there's a combi card, which is quite useful for the smaller installations, that gives you one of each. So you've got 1 analog trunk and 1 analog extension. So they're the 3 analog cards, and they're all the same price, but we'll have a look at pricing later. And then you've got an ISDN2 card, so that's 4 channels, 2 ISDN2s on 1 card, and a 1-port GSM card, which supports O2, Orange, Vodafone and T-Mobile, anything but 3 in fact. Now, if you do have a customer with a requirement for the 3 network, there is a card, but we're at Nimans, we're not stocking that, but we can get that in for you, but it may take a couple more days to get that here if you need it, so let us know. Right, let's have a look at the Iq Pbx 250. So this is the entry-level system, and as I said before, this is the one that is very similar in size to a router. It will support 8 concurrent calls. Now, a concurrent call is the same as a speech path, so you can do 8 things on the system simultaneously. Now, 8 things means a call into the system, a call out of the system, a call between extensions, 2 people on extensions, that's 1 concurrent call, and any access to voicemail or the IVR. So if somebody's leaving a voicemail, retrieving a voicemail, changing their message, a caller coming in is going through the IVR, that is a concurrent call. So you just need to bear in mind that the 250 will support 8 concurrent calls. It will support 25-ish IP endpoints. Now we say ish because it will go up to about 30, but you must consider the concurrent calls. So if you're trying to support 25 or 30 busy extensions, 8 concurrent calls, it probably wouldn't be sufficient. However, there are situations where this might apply. For example, a hotel or a college or a nursing home, somewhere where you've got a lot of idle handsets. So you might have, say, 20 bedrooms with handsets in that are very, very rarely used. Then you could quite easily put these on put that sort of solution onto an Iq Pbx 250. If you had a busy sales office, you need to consider that you'd probably only want to put about 10 IP endpoints on there. Now, all the SIP trunk licenses are included. You can't buy any licenses for any of these 3 boxes. So if it's not in the box already, you can't buy a license to add it. So technically you could actually put 8 SIP trunks onto this system, but again, would you want to do that because of the current call count? So you just need to think about that. But if you did want to put 8 SIP trunks on, the licenses are there ready to go. You've got 2 system card slots. So if you remember, if we go back to those 5 cards, you can actually put any of these in with the exception of the GSM. So remember, no GSM in the little 250, but you can put any 2 of the analog cards and the ISDN2 cards. So you could actually have 2 4-channel ISDN2 cards. So you could have 8 channels of ISDN2, 4 circuits on the 250, or a combination of anything. But you must remember, no GSM on the 250. You've got voicemail, voicemail to email, and one-touch record. A one-touch record is where you have a pre-programmed button on your handset, and at any point during a conversation or at the beginning of the conversation, you press that record key and the entirety of that conversation is then dropped into your voicemail, but it only starts at the point of where you press that key. That will then go into your voicemail, and because you've got voicemail to email, that will then arrive in your email as a WAV file. So one-touch record. You've also got music on hold. You've got 3 tunes built in there, so you can use any one of those, but you can also download a file that you've made for yourself. You don't need a third-party product to put music on hold onto the Iq Pbx. So to remember there, 8 concurrent calls, 25 IP endpoints, and voicemail to email. And that's what it looks like. As I say, it's the same size as a router. Now we'll have a look at the Iq Pbx 600. 22 concurrent calls, exactly the same rules apply. So 22 concurrent calls, calls in, calls out, calls between extensions, and anybody accessing voicemail or going through the IVR. Again, it will support 60-ish IP endpoints. Technically it will go up to about 100, but you have to consider the 22 concurrent calls and whether you'd want to try and support 100 with that restriction. That, of course, depends on the deployment. Again, all the SIP licenses are included, so technically you could actually put 22 SIP trunks on there, and technically you could put 60 to 100 IP endpoints without having to buy any licenses at all. Now this time you've got 8 system card slots. Remember, this one is a 19-inch rack mount system, and you've got the ability to put 8 system cards in there, and all 5 of them are compatible. You can put a maximum of 4 GSMs in, and the reason the GSMs are limited is because the card comes with an aerial, and there's only 4 aerial slots on the back of the actual PBX. But with the exception of the GSM cards, you can put any mix of the other cards in there. So you could put 8 2-port analog extension cards in and support 16 SLTs or POTs or 2-wire extensions. Again, you've got the one touch record. Again, that records at the touch of a button into your voicemail, and because you've got voicemail to email, it will arrive in your email as a WAV file. And also this time you've got fax and SMS to email too. Music on hold again, and as I said, it supports the GSM card. So Iq Pbx 600, 22 concurrent calls, 60-ish IPM points, and again the voicemail to email are the highlights of that particular box. And that's what it looks like. So 19-inch rack mount, a power supply unit, and the rack mount included, so no separate codes to remember on your sales orders. It all comes included. And on to the Iq Pbx 2000. Again, 60 concurrent calls, exactly the same rules: calls in, calls out, calls between extensions, and any access to voicemail. 200-ish IP endpoints. Technically it will support around about 300, so you've got all the SIP licenses included. Whether you'd want to support 200, 300 IP endpoints with only 60 concurrent calls depends on the deployment and the solution. You've only got 4 system card slots on the 2000. Even though the chassis is exactly the same as the 600, it's the 19-inch rack mount, they've left room to put in a hard drive because you've got call recording, and we'll have a look at that just when we come down to the bottom of the list. Voicemail and voicemail, fax and SMS to email. We have mobile twinning coming with the next firmware upgrade. You've got built-in 30 channels of full E1 PRI, so 30 licenses for ISDN 30, all in the box, no extra licenses, no extra charges. And as I said before, a real call recorder, and encryption hopefully will be with us for the next firmware upgrade. Now this call recorder makes this particular box very, very interesting, because for no extra charge you can technically record any type of trunk that you had coming into the system. So say for example you'd put an analog trunk card in there and an ISDN 2 card, you've got some ISDN 30 and some SIP and Skype for example. You can actually record all those trunks without having to do anything. No licenses, no additional costs, no nothing. With the storage, you can either put a hard drive, as I said, into the system because you've got room, because you've only got 4 card slots, or you could put a device or a PC onto the network and have a network device to do the recording, whichever you prefer to do. A lot of people prefer to put that on the network so that it's separate from the system. So the built-in ISDN 30, the 30 channels and the call recorder makes this product very, very interesting. So not necessarily a product for the higher end. You might have 8 channels of ISDN 30 and the need for call recording, and it prices in very well, and we'll look at the pricing in a little while. As I say, it's a 19-inch rack mount, power supply unit and rack mount kit included, so no having to remember that when you do your sales orders. So the highlights of the system are on the 250, the 600, the 2000 voicemail to email, Skype integration, intuitive call queuing, so it'll actually announce the position in the queue, Microsoft Link integration, and 3-way video conferencing. So that all those features come standard on all 3 boxes. Remember, no licenses to buy. On the Iq Pbx 600 and 2000, you've got 4 GSM ports. So you can have a 1-port card times 4 in both those systems. And then on the 2000 you've got mobile twinning coming and encryption on the automatic call record, but don't forget you've got 30 channels of ISDN 30 and the call recorder built in. So that call recorder is 100% both trunk side and extension side should you wish. Now there is a full features list, which if anybody would like to have access to that, please send us an email. Our email address is sales@iqpbx.co.uk and our DDI is 0161925 1968, and we'll be able to send any documents out to you. Now also, because this is an open source asterisk based system, you can go on the internet and download all sorts of programs, and there's just some examples there of what you can do, so Xdelcio, Xlite, etc. So if you have the ability and the knowledge to use the open source aspect of this asterisk based system, you can do all sorts of interesting things with it. And again, if you want to speak to our technical team, they can help you and advise you with all the things that you might want to do with the system. Now I promised that we'd have a look at the pricing, so these are all the recommended retail prices. The 250 retails at £500. And remember, this is supporting up to 25 to 30 extensions, so that's a very, very good price. Even better, the IQ 600 retails at £850, supports 60 to 100 extensions. And the Iq Pbx 2000 retails at 2,900. Now when you consider you've got an extension and trunk side 100% recorder that will be encrypted in the next firmware upgrade, 2,900 is a remarkable price, plus you've got the 30 channels of ISDN 30. So they're the three boxes, so 2, 8 and 4 slots, if you can just remember those. And then the two different sorts of card prices, so we've kept the analogue cards all at £100, 2-port analogue extension, 2-port analogue trunk and the combi card all retail at £100, and the 4-channel ISDN2 card, so that's 2 circuits, and the 1-port GSM card, remember that's only for the 600 and the 2000, both retail at 200. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prices to remember, so that's very, very, very straightforward. Now if you would like a copy of the configurator, please again either email us on sales at or use the DDI 0161968, and either myself or Jed or one of our colleagues will be able to send that out to you, or get in contact with your dealer manager in the usual way. We are running a series of training courses. These are here we have the dates of the technical training courses, some that we've already run, and the ones that are due to be run as well. And as you can see from the 3 that we've already run, they're very, very popular. In fact, the Egham one was full. We had some delegates that couldn't come, unfortunately, because we'd already filled the course, and we ran one here this week and we had 16 delegates on that. So as you can see, they're very popular. Now the courses are about 3.5 to 4 hours, something like that. They are free of charge, and we're running them in the morning and the afternoon. There's one date actually missing there where we've had to, because we were full, we've slipped another one in a week today. It's the 18th here at Nimans in Manchester, and that starts at 9:30. So if anybody wants to come on that, that's the 18th of January here at Nimans. The next one after that is in February. Again at Nimans office in Manchester. We do have some places remaining, but they are limited, so if you want to come on that, if you could let us know as soon as possible. The next one that we're running down south is in Reading. We've provisionally booked somewhere, so as soon as that's confirmed we'll publish the address, but it will be in Reading on the 6th of March. Then back up here for April and May, 10th and the 1st, and then again back down in the south location to be confirmed in June. So February, March and April we're running 2 courses per day. One starts at 8:30 and one starts at 2 p.m. and as I say, they are free of charge and they're about 3.5 to 4 hours. So again, email us on sales at, or ring us on the DDI, or speak to your your dealer salesperson, and they'll be able to get you booked on the course. So what we're saying is that the sales message here is Iq Pbx is easy. It's definitely easy to talk to your customers about, because you can say to them, here are the features. If the feature you want isn't there, then this isn't the system for you. But I can guarantee that the people we've talked to, I would say 98% of customers, what they need is already in the box, and the price makes it so attractive. We are doing very, very well with the system. It's easy to configure and prepare a quotation, because it says we've got the configurator, but also, again, myself or Jed or your dealer sales manager can do the configuration for you. It's incredibly easy to present and position, because if you choose to either invite me to come and help you with a sales presentation, or you want to buy your own demo kit, you can put together a system very, very easily and present that to an end user. It's simple to install and train your end users, because it's all very visual, it's all on the screen, and obviously the administrators can go into the programming GUI, and you can show them how to make simple changes, should you wish, to their own system. And because the remote access is so efficient and cost effective, you can maintain it remotely, and that of course keeps your costs down, keeps your customer happy, because it's instant and it works very, very well. So easy to talk to your customers, easy to configure, easy to present and position, easy to install. Don't forget our training is free for you, and maintenance is remote, so that's cost effective and user friendly. So finally, what we're wanting you to do is talk to your customers about this new exciting product, and of course we will help you. So far there's been official product launches, press adverts and events. We've done some exhibitions, and I'm sure you've seen the advertisements in the comms dealer, etc. So now the brand is being recognised in the UK, and people are actually, end users are ringing Nimans saying, where can we get this from? Now, if we do get an inquiry, what we're doing with those is we find who the customer is, and we find the nearest reseller who's been on the training, and we will send the lead to them. If you want to visit our website, www.iqpbx.co.uk. Now, this is a site that's it's being in progress of being updated all the time, but in there are some fact sheets that you can download, branded or unbranded, if you want to send them to your customer. But keep an eye on that website, because there's all sorts of things being put on there all the time for your information. We've got some bundles, so if you buy, say for example, an Iq Pbx with a certain amount of handsets, we can bundle those together and give you a special price. We're also bundling together hardware for the call recording and PoE switches. So again, speak to your dealer sales manager, and they'll be able to give you the details of those. And always remember that we've got, Nimans have their own finance department and network specialists to help you. So if you need anything outside of what we've looked at today, again, email us, ring us, and we will put you in touch with the right people to speak with. And as soon as there's more events in the pipeline, we'll be putting those on the Nimans website and also on our Iq Pbx website, so you'll be able to keep in touch with us at all times. So I hope that the training has been helpful to you. Any questions, give us a call, send us an email, and we look forward to speaking with you. Thank you very much for your time.